This Crev's corner, the ball is in your court. Swish.
Welcome back, guys, to our 16th episode of Crev's Corner. I have my co-writer and a reoccurring guest on the show, Nathan Keener.
What's up?
And we're going to talk about the NFL preseason preview. We broke down all the divisions. We have NFL awards that we want to give out. So I think this is going to be a real fun episode. I got Nathan, who I trust with all my NFL predictions, and I can't wait to debate on what teams we think are going to finish first, second, third, fourth in their divisions. And when we reflect, I can't wait to see the differences we have. So we're
super excited to talk about all this. Super excited to talk all about all this.
So we're going to start in the AFC North, and our hometown Browns are in that division. But so I will go off my 1 through 4 in the division, and then you can go, and then we'll reflect back on it. So I actually have the Baltimore Ravens going 16-1. Oh, and for people who don't know, me and Nathan went through every game of the year. So this is our records, and this is truly what we think will happen during the season. So
a lot of games.
What'd you say?
A lot of games we went through. This took a lot of time.
Yeah, so I have the Baltimore Ravens led by Lamar Jackson. I think he's going to have a great bounce back year. And I think the Ravens are going to go 16-1. I think the Cleveland Browns are going to follow them in second place, going 14-3. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to go 8-9, just missing the playoffs. And I think the Cincinnati Bengals are going to continue their struggles, going 2-15.
Yeah. Yep. I have the Browns going 12-5. I have them winning that division. I also have the Ravens going 12-5 as well. They're both splitting those games, so both really even there at the top. Then I have the Steelers going 11-6. See that a bit differently. I just think that defense is super, super stout. And then I got the Bengals a little higher, but yeah, I got them at 5-11, and it's not looking good for them this year. I'll just say that.
Yeah, we had talks about this. If for people who don't know, me and Nathan are roommates, so we talked about this episode for a lot of time before we actually did this. So I actually thought the Browns, Steelers, and Ravens race was going to be way closer until we broke it down game by game. Obviously, I feel very highly about Lamar Jackson, and I really like the Ravens going into this year. But I definitely thought the Steelers were going to win more than 8 games until I really put pencil to paper and went game by game of their schedule.
Yeah, they have the NFL's toughest schedule. 5 of their last 6 games, so going down trying to get in the playoffs. 5 of their last 6 are against playoff teams from last year. So it's not an easy road for them at all. They have a really, really, really tough time with that division and just their schedule. They got teams like the Packers and all of them guys. Yeah, they got really fucked on their schedule. So it'll be a tough road for them, but I feel like they return all those receivers. They got Najee. Freiermuth he's been the talk of camp. He's their starting tight end now. I have real questions about that offensive line though. Real questions. They released David DeCastro. Mike Pouncey retired, and they did not re-sign Villanueva. He went to the Ravens. So really got questions about that line up front and that offense.
And obviously the Bengals selected Jamar Chase in the first round of their pick last draft. What do you think that they can do so they don't fall into the worst teams in the NFL?
Well, starting with Jamar Chase has to play better. If you've seen Twitter or any NFL preseason game, he's not looked good. In their defense, Penei Sewell has not looked the best either, but that's an offensive lineman. They'll come around at some point. Receiver, yeah, he's not looked good. So he might be a bit overrated there, but I just think that offensive line still has a lot of questions. They have 2 solid tackles, so they should be protected there, but that inside's rough. And I have real questions about that defense. Again, they're solid in the back end with Jesse Bates, who's one of my favorite players in the NFL, actually. Super underrated. And they got Von Bell. Other than that, their defense has a lot of questions. And, yeah, they're just in this division where it's so top heavy. They're just stuck there at the bottom, and I don't see it changing anytime soon.
Yeah, I can't speak for you, but I don't see the Bengals winning a conference game this year, and I'm sure a lot of other people and NFL fans feel the same way.
Yeah, they have a real tough road, but I don't think Zach Taylor makes the end of the season. I really don't. If they're struggling, you have nothing to gain out of this. You're just wasting a year of Burrow's career. Mixon finally might be healthy. Like, you're wasting a year. This guy's not a big name. No one really knows why he has a job, to be honest. So that might be something if they're struggling midseason, and if they have your record especially, expect Zach Taylor to be out of there real quick.
All right, so we're gonna take our talents down to the AFC South. I have the Tennessee Titans, who just recently acquired Julio Jones in the offseason. I have them winning that division, going 14-3. Then I have the Indianapolis Colts securing a wild card spot, ending their season 12-5. I have the Jacksonville Jaguars, who picked up rookie phenom Trevor Lawrence, hopefully rookie phenom. And I think they will go 4-13. And then I have the Houston Texans going 0-17. Obviously, their starting quarterback, Deshaun Watson, who's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, is holding out. So they had Tyrod Taylor replacing them, taking snaps from him. I have them not winning a game this year. How do you feel about the AFC South?
Yeah, I also have the Texans finishing there at the bottom, 0-17. They got the whole Deshaun deal is sure up in the air, but it's escalated over from the past 2 years with Hopkins being out, Watt being out. Like, they're just not in a good place, organization. I got the Titans winning that division, though, at 11-6. Surprisingly, at the start, when I was going down and putting the predictions, I'm like, oh, I don't see this team winning a lot. But as Derrick Henry does, he comes on at the end of the year. So got them winning that at 11-6. The Colts, I got at 10-7. I really like that roster. I really like that team. But I have real questions about Wentz. Is he the guy? Is he not the guy? T.Y. Hilton's already hurt, and Paris Campbell has not played for 2 years. So you have one option in Michael Pittman. Zach Pascal's there, but expect a lot of running the football to get to 10-7. And then I got the Jaguars at 3-14. I love my boy Lawrence. I love Urban. I wish them nothing but the best, but they're still such a long way away. They're still so far away from being a contending team. I thought they had a good roster. I really was excited about some of their off-season signings, but they don't have an easy schedule. The Titans and Colts are really tough, and they, especially the Titans, them two receivers possess big mismatches for the Jags. Their corners are not very strong. You got Shaquille Griffith over from the Seahawks, so you got one option there at corner, 1A probably, and then 1B should be CJ Henderson, but he's been rumored to be on the trading block to the Saints, so who knows there. But yeah, then the Texans 0-17, just tank for Howell or Rattler 2022. That's your only hope.
Yeah, obviously I don't think a lot of the NFL fans think high of the Texans and Jaguars. We're talking about, you gave them 3 wins and I gave them 4 wins. Do you know off the top of your head who you gave the Jaguars your 1 win to outside Houston? Because they play Houston twice, and that means they got 2 automatic wins from them. Do you remember who you had the Jaguars beating?
I think the Jets was a game.
I was say that's what I think I put. I think I put Jets. I think they played the Jets this year, and I think that's who I have.
They have a few easy games tossed in there where they should get some wins. So, the Bengals. I haven't beaten the Bengals. That's that Thursday night game, week 3. I think Lawrence has always been better than Burrow. I think he's finally going to show it though. He needs redemption. I just think he's going to come out in that game. So 3 wins. It's going to be a rough season, but a team like that, you have your franchise quarterback, Kayvon Thibodeau, or someone could slide to them, Derek Stingley. They'll be in a good spot being at the top of the draft.
Looking at the AFC East now, we talk about a division filled with the Bills, Patriots, Dolphins, and the New York Jets. A lot of changes happened in this division over the past couple of years. The Bills look like serious contenders. So, Nathan, give me your outline of how the AFC East will handle itself.
Yeah, I have the Bills finishing at 15-2. I think Josh Allen takes another step into that superstardom. He showed it there last year, and they just came up short. Stephon Diggs is really, really a star now. He helps Diggs a lot. I have the Dolphins finishing at 11-6. I have questions about Tua, but I think he can get the job done, and that defense is pretty stellar with Flores there calling it. I have the Patriots finishing at 5-12, which shocked me because I was pretty high on that team, and just the schedule didn't fall that way. And then I got the Jets rounding out at 3-14. Tough year for Zach Wilson, but it'll be good for him in the long run. Getting another high draft pick in there.
Yeah, your outline kind of is just like mine. I have the Bills finishing at 15-2, and I agree with you. I think Josh Allen can really show that he can be an MVP in this league, and he might win one next year. I have Tua and the Dolphins ending at 11-6. I have the Patriots at 4-13 behind their new quarterback Mac Jones, since they recently cut Cam Newton. And I have Zach Wilson leading the Jets to a 1-16 season. Hopefully drafts a weapon in the draft next year and can get New York to play in Jets football.
Yeah. The Patriots, they're in a tough spot because Mac, he's tossed in there to start, but for the long run, they'll be good. I really have questions about their weapons they brought in. Aguilar and Bourne aren't really top options. They're solid guys, but they're not going to blow you away. And then Henry and Smith, they're really good tight ends. And I think John is really going to show something this year, but I'm just not high on that team. I'm really not. The defense, that front seven is going to be nasty, like always with Belichick. But, I got real questions about them in that division because the top two teams really are tough.
Going to the AFC West, obviously you have former champions and went to the Super Bowl last year, the Kansas City Chiefs. You have the Raiders, the Chargers, and the Broncos, who have made some questionable moves leading up to this season. I have the Chiefs finishing at 16-1. I have the Chargers getting a wild card spot at 11-6. I have the Broncos falling out of the wild card, ending at 7-10, and I have the Raiders finishing at 4-13.
Yeah, there's a few similarities there. I got the Chiefs at 14-3. Yeah, they're the kings of this division. I just think there's a few games there at the start of the season, really, where I got questions about that offensive line. You got two guys in there that are high quality in Orlando Brown and Joe Thuney for sure. But after that, you got Creed Humphrey, who's a rookie, another rookie, and then he's a second-year player. So you got real questions about protecting Mahomes. And when you don't protect him, we saw that one in the Super Bowl. I got the Broncos finishing at 11-6. I think that they should have started Drew Lock. They chose Tate. I think it'll be a good move for them right now, though. You get accurate quarterback in there. You get Judy. You got Sutton coming off injury. You got Noah Fant. And KJ Hamler's a real sleeper. He was a real talent out of Penn State. Second-round pick for him last year. He's a real speedster. I got the Chargers at 7-10. I like their roster. Herbert's going to take a step, but I don't think he's as good as people say he is right now. I mean, he's a solid quarterback, but he's nowhere near top 5, top 10 like they say he is. He's right there, but I don't think he's there yet. And then I got the Raiders at 4-13, and it might be John Gruden's last run because if they keep finishing the way they are, Al Davis is not going to like that. We'll just say that.
Yeah, I feel like Chiefs is obviously the number one in this division. When you talk about Chargers and Broncos, people, obviously we're on different sides of the spectrum, but I feel like a lot of people like the Chargers and a lot of people like the Broncos, and it's just that split in the middle of who do you think is the team in that division that can sneak into a wild card spot?
I think the Chargers really come on late. I really love the hiring of Brandon Staley. They stole him away from the Rams, and that's why that defense was so solid last year was Staley. He's a hell of a guy, hell of a young coach. I think they're going to struggle to start getting his system implemented, but second half of the year, I believe they come on. But the Broncos, they're just a solid roster. They don't really have any weaknesses. They got a good line, good receivers, good running backs, good quarterback, excellent cornerbacks. They got Patrick Surtain in there. He's going to be a real stud. You get Von Miller back. Bradley Chubb just got arrested today, so who knows about him. But, it's a real solid team. And then just going to Denver, that place is a bitch to play. We all know it. It fucks with your body. They're used to it. It's a real weapon they have in their favor that a few close games, it could fall in their favor because of that.
Going to the opposite side of the league, we're going to talk about the NFC. We're going to start off with the NFC North. Obviously, you have the reigning champs of the NFC North, the Packers. You have the Bears, who have made some quarterback changes. You have the Vikings and the Lions in this division. So I'll let you have the floor. And who do you think will win this division, and who do you think will fall just under them?
Yeah, the Packers here, I got 14-3. They're still the class of this division. They got blessed. Aaron Rodgers gave them one more chance, and this might be Devontae Adams' last run. They're a hell of a duo, a hell of a tandem. 16 touchdowns last year. That's pretty fucking elite. That dude's a stud. You have them at the top. Then I have the Vikings at 10-7. You get Danielle Hunter back, who, whether people give him credit or not, he's one of the top sack guys in the league. He's up there with Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, guys like that. He's only 25. His name deserves to be up there. They got Sheldon Richardson back. They got Dalvin Tomlinson from the Giants, former first-round pick. They got a solid defense. And then when you got Kirk, Dalvin, and Thielen and Jefferson on the outside, you got a solid receiving core. The Irv Smith injury really hurts them, and that disappoints me. He's a real up-and-coming star. So their ceiling really got taken away a little bit, and that hurts, but they're still a solid team. The Bears I have at 6-11, and I think the real question we all have is when Justin Fields is going to start. And they really need to start in week 4 or 5, because after that you have the Packers, Buccaneers, 49ers, Steelers, the bye week, and then the Ravens. Sure, you can toss them in that bye week, but then he has the Ravens. Wouldn't do that to the kid. Get him in there before those tough teams, and then, yeah, sure, he's going to face them, but don't toss him in the fire for that first game there. They got a solid team around that, though. If Andy Dalton's in there, still good. They got Montgomery. They got Allen Robinson. They got Darnell Mooney, real guy to watch out for. He's got 4.3 speed, real deep threat, and if Fields can get in there and toss that deep ball, watch out for him. We already know about that defense. It's elite. Roquan Smith, Khalil Mack. Yeah, they're studs. Then I got the Lions. Poor guys. I got them finishing at 0-17. There's not a lot of positives there. You got Goff, sure, but that's just not a solid team. Dan Campbell's in for a hell of a fucking. He's got a real handful, but yeah, they just need to prepare for 2022, I believe.
Yeah, my rankings kind of outline yours too, almost to the exact. I have the Packers at 13-4. I think Rodgers coming back is a big blessing for Green Bay, but I think that they need to start thinking about life after Rodgers and Adams, because my personal opinion, this is their last season. So either if Jordan Love is that option for life after Aaron, that's good. Implement him into some situations to where you don't need Rodgers in, and get Love on the field and give him some experience. I got the Vikings with Kirk Cousins at 12-5. I think they're a real threat, and I got them being the first wild card in the NFC. I have the Bears at 5-12. Obviously, we talked about the Fields thing. I think Fields needs to get in earlier than maybe some people think. Maybe have Andy Dalton start the first couple games, but split time with him 1 or 2 games before you give Fields all the reign. And then I have the Lions winning a game, but not many after that. I got him at 1-16. I like Goff, but I just don't like that team around him.
Yeah. There's not a lot there. I mean, you got DeAndre Swift, and if he's healthy, they're going to pound the ball. So they might squeak out a win, maybe. Hawkinson might go off a game, but yeah, if Kadarius Hodge from the Browns is your 4th receiving option and you're going to rely on him every game, sorry, but that's not good.
Going to the NFC South, this division was a tough one last year between the Saints and the Bucks, but it does not look the same way this year. I will give you my rankings. I have the Bucks going 17-0, looking for a undefeated season. They won the Super Bowl last year, and I think they're undisputed, no doubt about it, the best team in the NFL right now. I have the Saints going 6-11. I have the Falcons and the Panthers sharing last place at 4-13. Obviously, we have some disagreements about these rankings, but I think the Falcons can win 4 games. I think Pitts will help them out, and Matt Ryan isn't at the end of his career, but he's getting there. So Atlanta needs to start thinking about options without Matt Ryan. But what do you think about the NFC South? How do you think that'll play out?
Yeah, the Bucks they're dangerous. They return all 22 starters. They got that trio of wide receivers with Antonio Brown with an off season. Whether he's a head case or not, when he's on the field, he's still a hell of a freaking talent. You get someone like OJ Howard back, who he could be really a weapon they could have in the last half of the season when he's truly healthy. They got Vita Vea back at the last half there last year, really came on at the Super Bowl. I mean, yeah, you got that pass rushing duo of JPP and Shaq Barrett. And then I think Devin White's progression, he's still only this is his third year. And we all watched that Super Bowl. Him and just him overall, it's a real progress. Oh, dude, fuck this. I fucked up. You want to cut out this part?
Why? What were you talking about?
Oh my God, I couldn't think of Levante David's name.
Yeah, just go from where you think that.
Okay, yeah. I'll talk about okay. Hold on. Yeah, after Vita Vea, you got JPP and Barrett. That sack duo is just nasty coming off the edges. They're quick, they're nasty. And then you got Devin White's progression. He's still only going into his third year. We all saw that Super Bowl last year, saw him and Levante David's tandem. They're nasty. And then that defensive backfield's still so young. And Antoine Winfield's going into his second season. He was a real stud. Murphy Bunting, we saw in the Super Bowl. He picked off some passes. He's really good. But yeah, that team, Brady Fine is going to get his undefeated season, I feel like, and he deserves it because that team really is nasty. The Saints I got at 9-8. I don't think they're as bad as you think. I think that defense will still propel them. It still is really good. You got them Ohio State players on the back end, and Lattimore, Jenkins, and then Marcus Williams is a real talent too. Demario Davis is still there. Cam Jordan's still there. And then, yeah, they gave Jameis the keys, and paying Taysom Hill is hurting them because they just had to cut Latavius Murray over a situation like that. You're paying Taysom $10 million to just sit there now. So bad decision there, but yeah, I'm excited to see what Jameis will do. He got his surgery. He sat there. He learned behind Breeze. His receiving core, yeah, it's probably one of the worst in the NFL right now, to be honest, without Thomas. Marquez Callaway, yeah, he's going to be a top option, and it's because he has to. They really don't have anyone. And then you've got Kamara there. He's going to be a workhorse. He has to be for that offense. And after that, I got the Panthers at 5-12. Darnold is going to be good. And, I mean, it's kind of easy to be good when you have Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore, and Robbie Anderson. And then a guy like Terrace Marshall, who they gave that starting slot receiver role to that Curtis Samuel vacated. He can be a real guy this year where he's going to pop off and watch out for some fantasy teams. But I have questions about that defense. Other than Jeremy Chin and Ryan Burns, and they signed Hassan Reddick, there's some real questions there. J.C. Horn's a young guy in that defensive back room, but there's still some questions there. And then I got the Falcons at 2-15. Arthur Smith's in for a real project. They got Matt Ryan still, but I think taking a guy like Pitts and passing on Fields, they're going to regret that. You got Mike Davis, and now they got Wayne Gallman. They can survive with that backfield. And yeah, it's Calvin Ridley's time to shine. Julio's out of there. It's his time to shine, and Pitts has got to step up and prove he's worth a top 5 pick. I think he's a hell of a talent and a mismatch, but he's got to prove it. He has to go out there and prove it. But that defense has always struggled. It always has, whether Matt Ryan can put up or not. I just got questions about them stopping teams, just as usual. There's going to be games where they can outscore some teams, but predicting a record, I'm not willing to go out on a limb and find them games. So I got them at 2-15, like I said.
Yeah, I think the Falcons are going to win a couple games, but not much. And I think the Panthers are right there with you. Just typical struggles. They're good enough to win a couple games, but not a whole lot. Going to the NFC East, this division is all whacked out. It was last year and it is this year. You got the Eagles, you got the Washington football team, you have the New York Giants, and you have the Cowboys. Who do you think will win out of this division?
Yeah, I walked into this and I was a real Washington football team believer. I thought they were going to win this, and I just think the Cowboys offense is so elite that they're going to finish 12-5 and win this. It really is just that good. Their defensive questions are still there. They got some talented new guys in there like Micah Parsons and Keanu Neal, but how much can you really fix it? But that offense, you get Dak back, you get a healthy offensive line. Zeke, he looks fit, he looks in shape. We've all seen it on Hard Knocks. And then that wide receiver trio, Gallup is really coming on. I'm a fan of his now. I wasn't, but if you got CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper there too, yeah. If Gallup's your third option, you got to worry about a lot because CD is going to show the NFL he's a real star. And Justin Jefferson has all this hype. I still believe CD's better. Hands down, Andy Dalton was throwing the ball to him last year, so only can do so much. But like I said, the football team was high on them. I got them at 11-6. That defense is just, it's nasty. That front four with Chase Young, Montez Sweat, Deron Payne, and they're nasty. They're all first-round picks. Jonathan Bostic and Cole Holcomb are there. Jermaine Davis is a linebacker rookie you got to look out for. But, yeah, now the question is, what can Fitzpatrick do for a whole year? He's supposed to be the starter. He's got weapons. He's got Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissick, Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, and a guy I'm high on is De'Ami Brown, rookie from North Carolina. Still got Logan Thomas. So the question is, how far can Fitzpatrick carry you? And if he can be the Fitzmagic we've seen with the Dolphins, this team can be scary with that defense, and they can also just pound the football. But there's still questions about Fitzpatrick. He's still Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's still going to give a few games away. So 11-6, I feel like is really good for them. The Giants, I got at 5-12. Saquon's back, but still a lot of questions. Daniel Jones, this is probably your last chance, so you might want to show out. That defense is still good, but you can only do so much. And yeah, the Eagles, I got 4-13. Nick Sirianni's in for a hell of a freaking run. Is Jalen Hurts the answer? I don't know. Can Devontae Smith help that receiving core that's so bad? I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I really like the Giants. I thought I liked the Giants more than my record showed, but they have some really tough games and down in the home stretch. I have the Cowboys winning this division by 3 games. I have them going 10-7 and winning this division. That's how high I think about this, the NFC East. I have Washington football team going 7-10 and barely missing the wild card spots. I have the Giants going 5-12 and the Eagles going 3-14. So not really high hopes for this division, but I do think
the NFC East is still the NFC East, sadly.
Yeah, I do like the Cowboys in this division though, and I was high on them last year, but I'm really set that this year they're going to make a mark and get a playoff spot for the first time in a while. I think highly about CeeDee Lamb, and I think Dak Prescott can really be a option for comeback player of the year. Leading a team to the playoffs under the circumstances that he got hurt last year, I don't see why not.
Yeah, I'm in total agreement with you. The injury last year was unfortunate, and people thought it was career ending, but yeah, it wasn't as bad as we thought once we saw it on TV. He fought back. He's rehab. He's back, and he looks good. I hate the Cowboys. I really do, but that offense is scary, and they can put up some points real quick on you.
Going to the West, the NFC West, with the Seahawks, the Cardinals, the Rams, and the 49ers. A lot of people don't know how to rank this division because there's some teams that play really good and some teams that just week in, week out, you never know what you get with them. Obviously, Colin Cowherd would not be happy with our rankings in this division. I will start. I have the Cardinals with Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins being a big addition last year. I have them going 12-5. And then I have the Rams, 49ers, and Seahawks all going 8-9. But I do think that the Rams and the Seahawks beat out the 49ers to a playoff spot, and they get the 6th and 7th wild card.
Yeah, this division, there's a lot of talk about the AFC North, rightfully so. Those top 3 teams are tough, but this division has 4. And yeah, the bottom team is still going to have an amazing record. I got the 49ers at 13-4. I think Shanahan, this is one of his better teams. The defense, it's not got a lot of big names, but Nick Bosa's back. Eric Armstead's still there. Javon Kinlaw, D Ford, they got a solid front four. And then, yeah, you got Fred Warner, who's one of the top linebackers in the game, in my opinion. He got paid like it this offseason. Real question there with Salo going to the Jets, so they lost their coordinator. He's kind of what made that thing go. But, yeah, it's Jimmy G. How long can he hold off Trey Lance? I think Lance will come on in that second half and just take them on a run. He's got Mozart, got Sermon in that backfield. If Mozart can stay healthy, that's a hell of a backfield. Just real nasty duo once Sermon gets in down the stretch. Ayuk, Samuel, and Kittle, those three guys are yak monsters. Get them the ball, let them run. That's what they do best. And there's some questions about someone being healthy this year. Showed as a rookie, he's a legit weapon. Yeah, I think they're a nasty team and got a potential to go on a real Super Bowl run here. Love the Cardinals. They're one of my favorite teams. Kyler Murray's above. I got them at 12-5, making the wild card, and it's Kyler's time to shine. He made the Pro Bowl last year in his second year. He still only played 3 serious years of football. He played 1 in college and 2 in the NFL. The dude's still learning the game, whether we like it or not. He's still just learning to play football. He stopped focusing on baseball for football, obviously. It's his time to shine, and yeah, he's got Hopkins, that running back room, Edmonds and Connor should be able to carry it. I have questions. I don't like Connor, but they should be good enough around Kyler. And then, yeah, that defense, they've really put time into it. They got Isaiah Simmons in there. They got Xavion Collins in there. Those are the top 2 draft picks the last 2 years. And they're starting linebackers right out the gate. Go get them, boys. And, yeah, they got Chandler Jones and now J.J. Watt. You got them linebackers. You got that pass rushing duo. They can do some damage, especially with Budda Baker in that backfield. I wanted to put him higher, but losing a guy like Malcolm Butler when you already lost Patrick Peterson, that sucks. Butler, please come back. I really hope you do. But Byron Murphy and Marco Wilson, who's a rookie out of Florida, he's a guy that threw the shoe. You might know him. He's a real good talent, though, and he can cover some guys. He's going to be tossed in there early. I got the Rams. I'm really high on Stafford. I love McVay. I love this team, but Akers getting hurt really hurt me. And I got them going 8-9. I don't see them finishing that good. You lost a guy like Brandon Staley. That defense took a real hit. You also lost 2 starters like Troy Hill and John Johnson to the Browns. That defense, yeah, you have 2 of the top players in the game overall, and Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. But around them, there's a lot of questions and a lot of unknowns. That's where it hurts me because you got to stop all of these offenses. You got to stop the 49ers, the Cardinals, the Seahawks. That's just division games. That's 7. Or that's 6 division games. You got to stop them 6 times. That's tough. And then, yeah, I got the Seahawks at 8-9 as well. It's the same thing. That secondary strong. You got Jamal Adams back there. You got a guy who I'm really high on. He's from the area, from Worcester, Ohio. And, yeah, he's back this year. Marquise.
Yeah.
Okay, where did it stop at then?
You're talking about the Seahawks.
So should I just?
Yeah, you just be
So-
like,
so-
I got the Seahawks.
So I
at
got through the Rams. I got through the Rams.
Yeah.
Okay. Dude, just think we only got one division. We've about pumped this through. Just fight it. Let's fight it. We got it. Okay. The Seahawks, yeah, I have them finishing at 8-9 here. Same questions I have about the Rams. It's that defense. Jamal Adams is back there. Other than that, there's some questions. You got a guy like Marquise Blair. He's from Worcester. He's back. He's healthy. Former 2nd-round pick. He's a guy I'm really high on. Hope to see him do some things. But, yeah, you got Bobby Wagner. And other than that, there's some questions. Carlos Dunlap, I saw, is listed as a backup. So, really have questions there. He's supposed to be your star pass rusher. And, yeah. Russell Wilson, second half last year, really struggled. he's got to get that fixed. And I think part of that is the play calling. They got that taken care of. Chris Carson didn't play a single preseason snap. He's healthy. And if that dude's on the field, he is one of the most underappreciated players in the NFL. That's just flat out true. He's a workhorse. He's a big physical back. And then you got Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. I'm not as high on DK as some. He still has questions about his route running and hands. Yeah, you can be big and physical all you want. I know you can't teach that, but you still got to catch the ball and you still got to run the route. Speaking of that, a guy like Tyler Lockett, an absolute star at that. And that's why a little guy like that can be equals. It doesn't matter. You got Dwayne Eskridge. He's your first draft pick this year because you traded him all. Questions about him, but if he gets on the field, he's a real speedster. But after those three, you got a guy like Freddie Swain. That's a real question. And just overall depth for that team, yeah, not really worried about it.
Yeah, so I used to really be high on the Seahawks, but just this year I can't pick my second favorite out of the Seahawks, 49ers, and Rams. Everyone on the NFL world thinks that the Rams are going to do really good this year, but I don't see them being over 8 and 9 that I had them at.
Yeah, we have to remember their offensive line struggled a bit last year still. Like, Goff got hit. Goff was injured. Like, there's a reason he got hit. Sure, Stafford back there, and Stafford's a magician, but you can only do so much with that. Yeah, he's got a solid receiving core, solid weapons around him, but just that division is so tough where you put a team like them at 8 and 9 and you have questions, but who are you going to put there? One of them has to finish down there.
Yeah, we have Stafford, who is obviously taking his first snaps for the Rams on week 1, never played a preseason game with them. We can easily say this is the most talented team that Matthew Stafford has been on. But to what degree is Matthew Stafford to you an upgrade for Jared Goff? Because to me it's an upgrade, but it isn't much of one.
He's an upgrade, especially just having a guy on the field who knows the game, who understands it, who can read defenses. There's reports that they view him as the same realm as Brady with his football knowledge. That's high praise, and having that on the field, being able to audible and stuff, that's important, especially protections and little stuff like that. A guy like Goff, sure, he knows it, but he's not Matthew Stafford in that department. Stafford has a better arm. He's more accurate. He's got better arm angles. It's just that simple. Was he worth 2 first-round picks they gave with Jared Goff? That's a question. But
Jared Goff is taking,
but they don't value draft picks, and hey, it's worked out for him in the past, so might work out for him again.
Yeah, Jared Goff has taken more snaps in the Super Bowl than Matthew Stafford has. Not saying, I mean, that is something to acknowledge when you're talking about this trade. Even though the Rams defense was hellacious that year, they had Todd Gurley at running back that they relied on heavily that fell off a cliff of the NFL that no one knows where it leads to. But I do think Matthew Stafford, when you talk about a player to player from Jared Goff, he's an upgrade. I just don't know how much. I don't know where Matthew Stafford can take you that Jared Goff has not taken you already. And plus, you reminded us about the 2 first-round draft picks that they gave. I don't know if Matthew Stafford's worth Jared Goff, who can start for any team in the NFL today.
Yeah.
And 2 first-round draft picks. So, but now we will move along to individual player awards. We will start off with league MVP. I know you talked about a couple names. So give me the one that you want to happen and then the one that you think will happen.
I got Kyler Murray winning this MVP, and hearing how high you had them and me having them at 12 and 5, if they're that high up there with the rushing volume he's going to get and just the overall passing volume he's going to get, it's going to be insane. And he's going to put up crazy stats. Last year, he was in the running for them MVP at the start of the season. He really was. And then, yeah, he had a little nicky-knack injury, but he's healthy now. Now he just even has a better team around him, a better defense. I really think he can win. And then I think a guy like Josh Allen can too, especially having them at 14 and 3. Yeah, I think they'll make it to the Super Bowl over the Chiefs. And if that happens, yeah, the dude's an MVP. It's that simple. They have to pass the ball because that running game has issues with Zach Moss and Singletary. He's going to get goal line kicks because he's the goal line running back, essentially. QB sneaks, QB draws. He's going to put up the passing volume. It's there for him. It's there for the taking. I love both of them guys, and it's going to be a hell of a race.
Yeah, when you talk about the league MVP over the past couple of years, this has been an award that Patrick Mahomes has to lose. You know what I mean? But he hasn't won in the past couple of years. Lamar Jackson, you have Aaron Rodgers that won it last year, and Josh Allen was third in that. Josh Allen was third in that running. So I think that Josh Allen can take that next step and can be this league's MVP. Another guy that I want to win the MVP, and it would be his second MVP, would be Lamar Jackson. If the Ravens can win this AFC North division outright, and like the record that I have, 16-1, with the passing touchdowns as he has Rashad Bateman, Marquise Brown. He's got Mark Andrews streaking down the middle of the field at tight end that can catch the ball with excellence, with the best of the best in the tight end world. I think that Lamar Jackson can bring the MVP back home. And I think that Baltimore can be a real threat in the playoffs this year.
The real question they have is, have defenses figured out Lamar? And that's where a guy like Rashad Bateman comes in, because you have to throw the football. People have to respect you throwing the football. They can't just put 8 in the box. Sure, you still got to go tackle. You still got to go tackle that shifty little guy, but still, it's the fact of you have to spread the field. You have to get guys out of the box to run. And losing a guy like J.K. Dobbins, yeah, if he can go 16-1, yeah, he's probably going to win the MVP, because he's going to get a shit ton of rushing yards. And if they pass, he can get the passing touchdowns. He can. Not down the field, but in the red zone, they pass the 5th most in the NFL. There's opportunities there for a guy like Bateman and Mark Andrews.
This Crev's Corner, the ball is in your court. Swish.